Okay, so I'm turning 21 next month, and honestly, looking back, I did a lot of things right as a teenager, like getting a job and sticking with the right friend group, but there are a few things that I know now that I wish I knew and did when I was a teenager. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 tips that if you implement as a teenager, you'll get a head start in your 20s and set the right foundations for the rest of your life. Tip 1 is to set fun, short-term goals. Like I know many people, even in their 20s, they don't have goals, or they just have goals that are super long-term and vague. And I feel like one of the best things you could do as a teenager is set fun, short-term goals that you're actively working on, like in the next 3 to 6 months, because it keeps you focused, keeps you disciplined, and helps silence some of the distractions around you. And no, don't tell me your goal is to be a doctor in 10 years. Like I do understand that's amazing and that's an amazing goal to have, but you're not actively working on it right now. Like yeah, you're studying, but like studying, that's something everyone is doing as a student, as a teenager. It's kind of like an expectation. So I don't really feel like you're actively working on your goal to become a doctor. What I want you to do is find something that interests you, like learning how to play the guitar or something arts related. Maybe it's like going to the gym and starting to work out, starting a business, starting a side hustle, or it can be like simply like becoming a better person or becoming a better friend. As long as you have a goal that you're actively working on and you're motivated to do, that's amazing. Just make sure your goal is like a SMART goal. If you don't know what that means, search it up. It's pretty standard stuff. And make sure you're able to work on your goal on a daily basis. Setting a goal like this and actively working on it is going to be a game changer for you as a teenager. Like I started a tutoring business in high school, and even though it failed, I learned a lot from it. I learned how to set goals and stay motivated and stuff like that. And it really gave me something to do in the evenings, and I'm so grateful that I did it. Also, because I set goals like this in high school, I don't find it overwhelming or scary to set bigger, complex goals in my 20s. And honestly, I've learned how to break down like big goals into smaller pieces and tackle them on a step-by-step basis and actually make meaningful progress towards my goals. And to add on to that, setting goals like this also builds momentum. Like each achievement, each success adds up. It's kind of like a snowball effect. And the more goals you set and the more you practice achieving these goals, the more confident you will become, and this will help you for the rest of your life. If you're liking this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. Like I'm a small channel, so all the support is super helpful. And with that being said, my second tip is something that I believe all teenagers should be doing, which is to get a job and make money. And no, working for your mom, dad, or uncle doesn't count as a real job. What I'm talking about is like you work minimum wage, like at retail, customer service, camp counselor, or something like that, so you get real experience of what a job feels like and you get exposure to the real world. I honestly hated all the jobs I did as a teenager, but I still worked part-time and summer jobs all throughout high school. Working a job teaches you what it feels like to have a boss, work with people, and as brutal as it can be, I truly believe all teenagers need to experience this. Like for me personally, because I worked a job at 14, 15, 16 years old, I quickly understood that working a job is not really something I like, and I want to pursue entrepreneurship and succeed in that in my life. And that's why even when I had friends and family members doubting me, I still started the tutoring business in high school. And after that failed, I didn't lose motivation and decided to do something more absurd and start a YouTube channel. And in general, just starting earlier in life gives you a massive head start. Like if you work a minimum wage job at 14, 15, 16 years old, you get crucial job experience, and when you're 18, you can get a better paying job. But if you don't have job experience, you'll be stuck working a minimum wage job when you're 18. Last reason why you should get a job as a teenager is because pretty obvious stuff, you'll make money, and who doesn't want money? My third tip is closely related, and it is to learn the first step of personal finance, which is how to automatically save and manage your money. I know so many people who as teenagers have a job so they make money, but still live with their parents, so they don't have much necessary expenses or anything like that, but are still broke. Like I totally get why everyone wants to spend the money that they make. Like I remember when I was 14 years old, I got my first paycheck for like $200, and when the $200 got deposited in my bank account, I felt so rich. And I know it's super exciting, but you really have to learn how to save and manage the money that you make. The more money you save as a teenager, and the better you are at the skill of saving money, the more financially well off you'll be in your 20s. First step, super duper basics of personal finance, is you want to automatically set up a system that saves money for you. Like for example, if you make $500 every paycheck and you want to save 20% of your income, you want to build a system that automatically transfers $100 of your paycheck into a different bank account. I like to make it even harder for me to access that money by keeping my savings in a completely different bank. It's almost like I can't see that money, so I know I'm not going to spend it. And if you're wondering how you can do this automatic transfer, the most simple way for teenagers is to set up a recurring e-transfer like every 2 weeks or something that transfers a specific amount of money from one bank account to another. I promise you, if you actually implement tip 2 and 3 as a teenager, you'll have a lot of money saved up by the time you're 20. True story, at 14, 15 years old, I had my first $1,000 saved up. When I was 16 and 17, I was able to increase that amount to $10,000. And by the time I was 20, just by working part-time summer jobs, saving 90% of my income and investing it, I was able to save my first $100,000. You don't have to save like that high percentage, like 90%, but definitely learn how to make money and save that money. My fourth tip is pretty well known, but honestly, just make sure to hang out with good people and good friends, because the truth is, you are who you hang out with. Even if you feel like, oh, I'm different, I promise you, it's a matter of time before you pick up their qualities and become more like them. As teenagers, making friends can be super hard, and keeping your friends can be even harder because of all the middle school and high school drama that exists. So I know this is hard, so try your best. And I feel like a small rule that can guide you is stick to being friends with people who you can genuinely learn something from. Like for example, if you're good at math and you get good grades and stuff, then be friends with someone who has a better character than you, or just a better person than you, because that's something you can learn from them. Or you could just be friends with people who also get good grades, so you guys can both work together and get even better grades. The point is not that you have to get something out of having a friendship. All I'm trying to say is try to stick with high quality people, or people who have majority good traits, because let's be honest, no one's perfect. Because who you hang out with is who you become, and hanging out with good people will make you a better person. My last tip is to aim to live to 100. I know it sounds so weird, but as teenagers, we tend to be so short-sighted, like you never think about the impact our actions can have, like 2, 5 or 10 years down the line. And if you just take a step back, assess yourself, like assess whether 2 years down the line or 10 years down the line, you'll be proud of what you're doing right now or will you regret it, I genuinely believe it will help guide us make better decisions. And this applies to all areas of life. For example, being like math and who cares and not caring about it right now means that 4 years down the line, when you apply for a STEM program, whether that be like engineering or something like that, if you want to, you might not get in because your marks might not be high enough. Or even if you do get in, you might find it really, really hard to stay in that program and actually do well in that program because you didn't care about it 4 years ago. And another example is not exercising and not caring about your health is going to have a massive impact on you 10, 20, 50 years down the line. When I was in high school or even now, one of the things I really have trouble with is consistently getting some sort of exercise every single day. Like I know most of you can probably relate, but it can be so easy to just be stuck in your room, staring at your computer the whole day. And I think one thing we can all work on is getting some sort of physical activity every single day. It doesn't have to be going to the gym and lifting weights. Like I personally, whenever I exercise, I just like to go outside and go for a run in the morning. Or it could be something simple as like doing yoga in the evening or just going on a walk. Whatever it may be, if you just get some sort of physical exercise every single day, I genuinely do believe it's going to have a massive positive impact on you 10, 20, 50 years down the line. So back to what this tip was all about is thinking about the impact your actions can have in the future can help you make better decisions and guide you in the right direction right now. One bonus tip or 5 tips is assuming you're watching this video because you're a teenager, which means you're a student as well, then make sure to check out this video on the 5 tips to make 2025 your best school year. And if you made it this far, then thank you for watching. I definitely do wish I knew a couple of these tips earlier in life, but I know them now and I'm happy that I was able to share them with you so you can try to implement them yourself. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you next time.